Hi, welcome to this video. I'm Lisa, and today I'm teaching ease back in yoga. This is for people who haven't practiced in a while, who've taken a break because of illness or injury, or who may be fairly new to yoga. And I always like to remind people when they take my classes that yoga is not about the fancy poses. It's about directing and focusing mental activity, this stuff up here. And so we use the poses actually to create a healthy environment in the body that prepares us for life and meditation and things like that. So the purpose of this class is to gently open up the body without harm, without overstretching, without doing so much that you're really sore the next day, that kind of thing, because I just don't believe in that. And the other purpose is to cultivate peace in a loud and busy world. So with that, what I'm going to do is, now we're in my home here. I'm going to show you really quick this part of my house because my house is pretty small, but this over here is my working desk. I'm in the living room right now. The living room is big. The rest of the house is kind of small. Behind me, there's the dining room table. And then over to the right are some chairs where I sit and read. And behind me, there is the kitchen. So there's a lot going on, and I don't have a backdrop other than my house. So I hope you can move past that and just focus in on the class. So I'm going to go take a seat on my mat and start now. And I'm not sure, I'm hoping to keep this class under an hour. And so I don't know exactly how long it's going to be at, but you'll know because I will know once I'm done. I'm shooting for less than an hour. So here we go. All right, as you notice, I've got two blocks here, and I'm going to sit on both of them because this is what I call easing in, right? I could sit on one block for sure. Like I could do that. And so could you, or you don't even need a block. If you don't need a block, don't sit on a block. But this allows me to have really nice open hips because I'm easing back in. And so one of the ways we do that is by using props, taking it slowly, and being really mindful as to how we move in the body. I do have some notes here so that I don't forget anything I want to include in our class today. And where I want to start is by grounding, okay? So take your good seat on your block or your blanket or your mat. And then we're going to do, oops, I've already got a foot cramp. Look at that. Okay, we're going to start by breathing. So I'm going to ask you to place your right hand on your belly and then place your left hand on your heart. Right hand on the belly, left hand on the heart. And then if you would, close your eyes. And we're going to start by becoming really present to what we're doing and where we are, and to our own expansive greatness inside. And pay attention to the connection between the hand and the belly and the connection between the hand and the heart. As you take in your next breath, breathe into the low belly and let it expand a little bit. And then bring the breath up into the left hand into the heart space. And then as you exhale, relax your shoulders. Let out all the air that you can. And then inhale again, breathe into the right hand and the left hand. Exhale nice and slowly, releasing any tension, any stress, any crazy thoughts that are in your head. And repeat. Inhale again into the right hand and the left hand. Just a very slight pause at the end of your exhale, and then go ahead and release that, or sorry, inhale, and then release that in your exhale. And then place your hands just right on your lap. And from here, bring your hands to your heart center. So here's where you might set an intention for this time on your mat. And that intention could be anything, really. To use this practice for your health, for your mind, for calming yourself, for expanding your consciousness, anything. And then what we want to do is seal that intention with a bow to the heart. This is all ritualistic and very nice. Let the head fully drop. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck. And then release your hands gently to your lap. And raise your head and open your eyes. Let's just start by taking the hands on the head. I really just want you to gently hug your brain, okay? Because the brain is what regulates the entire body 24/7, and it creates a body budget sort of a thing. So it's regulating your heart rate, your breathing, the circulation in your body, all the things, right? The brain is doing all that work. So yay, thank you, brain. And then we're going to take the hands to the lap and just start to make some circles with your head. So we're going to work through the entire body today. So just start to roll the head around in circles. And remember, we're just easing in today. This is not a challenging practice. Although even the most gentle yoga practice could be challenging for someone, right? Someone who's never done yoga. And then we're gonna go to the other side. So just switch. Maybe one more time around. And bring your head back to the center and take a big breath in. And as you exhale, let your head lean over to the right. So I guess if we're mirroring each other, it's my left, it's your right. Then take your right hand, your right hand on the left side of your head. And you're gonna just gently release this shoulder down as you press your head away from the shoulder. So that's a nice little stretch there. Now go ahead and keep your head over to the right and then take your right hand and start to massage the neck on the left. That feels so good. So if you just start pressing into those muscles, you might even get like a little chill in your body. And there's so many different ways you can do that, right? You can press down and move forward and back with your fingers a little bit. You could press down like from the top of your neck towards the bottom of your neck and hit the top of the shoulder if you want. Then what you're going to do is take your right hand and you're going to push your head back up. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, take a nice big breath. As you exhale, bring your head to the other side. So if your head is now to the left, you're going to use your left hand and bringing it to the right ear and just sort of gently pulling it over while you let this shoulder drop. And then we're going to release this hand but keep the head over, and we'll start massaging that side of the neck. And then I always like to, kind of become aware of which side of my neck feels a little bit more sore or tight or whatever. And usually it's the right side of my neck. I haven't quite figured out why, other than because maybe I'm right-handed. So giving that a nice massage. Then we're gonna lift the head back up and release. So what we're gonna do now is some seated cat-cows. I'm just lifting my feet up because my ankles are getting a little sore already, just sitting like that. They might even feel less sore if I was on one block instead of two, so maybe that's the issue. But what we're gonna do is some seated cat-cow. So we're gonna interlace the fingers, and then we're gonna push the palms away. As you push the palms away, you'll round your back. You can tuck your chin a little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. And just stretch that out. And then as you inhale, come on up, reach the arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, release the arms down by your side. Inhale the shoulders up, exhale back, and then just lift the hands and squeeze the shoulder blades on the back. And again, we'll repeat this 2 more times. So interlace the fingers, push the palms away, round the back. I even like to stretch a little bit more while I'm back there, moving from side to side. Inhale, bring the arms up, stretch it up, maybe take the arms back a little further, and then as you exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, shoulders up, exhale, squeeze. And one more time, maybe switch the lace of your fingers this time. Push the palms away, round the back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, back. Lift the heart, squeeze the shoulders, lift the chin. And hands together. Okay, I'm going to move the blocks. And I want to do a little bit of footwork. So we're going to grab your foot. So whichever foot you want, could be the right or the left. You're going to take your fingers like this, spread your fingers wide, place them between your toes, one finger between each toe. If you've never done this before, it feels weird, I'm not going to lie. And then we'll just give it a little squeeze so that you actually see the blood moving up towards the top of your toes. And then you're going to move your foot around in circles. So we're warming up the ankle now. There's other ways to warm up the ankle, like just going in a down dog. But we're going to start here while we're on the floor. And go the other direction. Good. And then take your hands and spread your fingers wide. And then pull out the hand. All right, and then you're going to look at your foot and just move it around in circles a little bit more. And notice the difference now between the right foot and the left foot. So we're just going to switch sides. Also, usually there's a color difference too. Okay, so second side, just grab your foot, spread your fingers, place a finger between each of your toes as best you can. And just give it a little squeeze. I have very bony toes. I don't know about you. I guess most people do, right? But then we're going to just move your foot around in circles and warm up that ankle. So we're going to warm up all the joints today and go the other direction. Good. And then just, you can stop rotating, squeeze your toes, and then spread the fingers, and then pull out the hand, and just notice how you have woken up your toes. One of the things I like to do is sit in a pose called Virasana to really stretch the knees and the quads. And I suggest using a block for this. And we're going to do a variety of things to warm up these muscles. Also, just so you notice, I have a blanket right behind my mat. And I'm going to place my tops of my feet on the blanket, and I'm going to bring the block underneath me. Now, some of you might need 2 blocks. Okay, so this pose can be rough on the knees and the quads. And if I just sit like this with my feet on the blanket and I've got 2 blocks. This feels pretty comfortable. I actually could sit here for a long time. However, I kind of want to get a little bit of a stretch here. So I'm going to challenge myself a little bit. I'm going to remove the second block, sit on the first one, and instead of sitting straight up, because that puts a lot of pressure on the knees here and the quads, I'm going to lean forward on my fingertips and just lean forward. And then I'm going to shift my hips from side to side and sit up and go back. Shift hips from side to side and then sit up and come back. So just a little challenge, right? Just a little bit. Now some of you might be in full Virasana. That's cool. However you like to do that. But this is really, we're easing in now, right? For people who haven't been doing yoga for a while, and those things, we tighten up. One more time, sitting up and then coming down. All right, I'm going to place my block aside, and I'm going to put something in my hair while we come down into cat-cow. So you're going to come onto your hands and knees, and just start by bending the back, like in a little back bend, and then arching the back. So the hands come under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and I like to place the hands pretty much right under the shoulders. As you inhale, you're going to lift your tailbone and let your belly drop, squeezing the shoulders a little bit onto the back. I usually do this on the inhale, and then on the exhale, we're going to round the back and stretch it out. Inhale, come back to your little back bend. And then exhale, round. Inhale, back bend. So this is the cow right here. As you exhale, you come into cat. So what we're going to do now from cat pose is come back into child's pose. And we're not going to take the feet together and the knees apart. We're just going to leave them like they are, which is parallel. And this again is going to stretch the knees and the quads and the ankles. So inhale, come on up into cat, and then you're going to exhale and melt yourself back into cow pose. Inhale, back up into cat. Exhale into child's. Inhale up. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, child's. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, child. And then here's another thing I like to do to keep these muscles stretching around the knees and the ankles and the quads is I come back up and I do this again. So I'm not sitting on my block now, but I am giving this a little stretch. Especially I feel this in my ankles and my knees. All right, we are going to do some lunges on our knees, but we're going to use blocks. Again, easing back in. You're going to take your blocks and you'll just bring one foot forward, right? And what I like to do is warm up these joints by just kind of gently moving forward and back. So I will be feeling this in my hip flexors here, forward and back. And you don't have to straighten the front leg. You can just, straighten it a little bit, but it doesn't have to go fully straight. But just to give it a little warm up here. I like to warm up very slowly and deliberately so I don't hurt anything. I'm really big about maintaining safety in the body. All right, and then we're going to come up onto the knee. Now I personally like to have a blanket under my knee. You don't have to have one, but I like it. And I have a very thick mat and a rug under this. So I've got my right leg forward, left knee down, and I'm going to take the left arm up, grab hold of it with the right hand, take a breath, and then And exhale and bend to the right. So right knee's up, left knee's down. We're bending to the right. So this whole side body on the left side is getting a good stretch from the knee all the way up to the armpit. And we're going to come up with a breath and exhale and release. Then we're simply going to switch sides. So we'll take the left knee forward, grab hold of your blocks, and forward and back just several times. And you want to ease into this, into these joints, into the muscles. I don't have any music on, if you've noticed, because I'm not sure what I can use and what I can't use. So I can let you use your own music. If you need music, you can play it. Might find a nice yoga playlist on Spotify that you could use. All right. So we've warmed up both sides a little bit. We're going to come back up onto the right knee. Left foot is forward. And then we're going to lift the right arm up, grab hold of it with the left hand, and take a little bend to the right. Now, some people who are way more open in the hips might want to come forward like that. It's up to you. I'm going to stand here and just keeping it gentle. So again, press down through that right knee, reach out with that right hand and pull, but keep the shoulder intact. And just notice the stretch. Then inhale, come on up, and exhale, release. Okay, so now we're going to do downward facing dog. And I'm just going to keep my blanket right here. So hands come in front of the shoulders. You spread the fingers wide, evenly press down through the knuckles, and then tuck your toes in the back, lift your knees, and come on up into dog. Now, I like to keep my knees bent here, so I can straighten them, but what I'm going to do instead is just bend one knee and then the other. So this, they call this walking the dog. And we'll do a couple of down dogs before we move on. But one thing I do want to share with you is that when you bend the knees in this pose and you lift your hips high into the air and you draw your belly in, then you can push your hands further into the mat and stretch your back even more. And just make your arms nice and strong. And then, you know, if you want to begin to straighten your legs, you can. Notice what changes and where you're efforting and where you're able to really feel good in this pose. Then we're going to come down to our knees and go to child's pose just for a moment. Breathe into the ribs and then come back up. All right, we're going to do another down dog. So come on up and just walk it out. Walk it out a little bit. Notice, you know, for me, because it's been a while and I have lost some strength, my arms are actually really feeling this right now. And this used to be a resting pose for me. All right, so now what I'm going to do is walk forward onto my mat, move my blanket, and we're going to do forward fold. So walking to the front of the mat a little bit, I'm keeping my feet hip distance apart, toes forward, heels back. And then I'm just going to take my blocks and allow my head to hang. And now you can also let the blocks go a little bit lower. Shake out the head. When you shake out the head, you release tension. It's very good. And then if you want to, you can sort of bend one knee and the other. So some of us are super tight in the hamstrings genetically, like we're more muscular oriented, and so it takes a lot of work for us to grow our hamstrings. And then other people are more organic and they can forward fold like nobody's business, and they can do splits and all kinds of things. I'm tighter, so I have to work hard at flexibility. So I hang out here a while, and I pump a little bit, I move from side to side. One thing I think would be good is to take your right hand on the block in this forward fold, and then take your left arm across, bend your right knee, and push your left hip back. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in that left backside. And we'll just switch sides, bring your hand on the block, the left hand on the block, bend your left knee, reach your right arm forward, diagonally, and then pull the right hip back, and just pull the ribs in and stretch. And don't overdo it, don't overstretch, just enough to where it feels good. And then come back. So one thing I like to do are some squats. I like to take the heels facing each other, toes apart, and then come into a squat pose. This is so good for your legs and your feet. And today, like, I'll only do 3 because you could work your way up, right? As we ease in, we start with just a few. So here's a squat, and what I like to do is take my elbows, push them into my thighs, because I need the inner thigh stretch. My thighs are super tight. All right? So, then we're gonna come back to the forward fold. So the feet are parallel again, head bows, we shake out the head. And then we come back into our second squat. And again, if you want, you can push the elbows into the thighs, feel that nice little stretch there. And then forward fold. So that's 2 squats. I have in the past worked my way up to about 10. I don't usually do more than 10, although I could. I could push myself to do 20. I think I'll set that goal for myself. All right, one more squat. One more squat. Push the knees away from each other. Feel that inner thigh stretch. That feels so good, as long as you don't overdo it. While I'm here, I'm going to take a sip of water. That was convenient. And I'm going to come back into my forward fold. I'm actually going to let go of the blocks, grab my elbows. And then here is a good place to hang and swing. Hang and swing. If you're wondering, I've been teaching yoga for over 20 years. I started in, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come up halfway. We're going to bring the hands on the hips. Pull the elbows back and squeeze the shoulder blades. Pull the belly in. Root down through your feet. Press down hard with your feet and come on up. When you press down hard with the feet, the body lifts up pretty lightly. So I've been teaching a long time, but during COVID, I lost a couple of my teaching positions, and I've never gone back into the studio, so Inside Timer has been my place. So I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so what we're going to do, I call this mountain pose sun salute. So we're going to stand in mountain pose. So anchor down through the feet. Make sure they're parallel. Feet are hip distance apart. Toes are spread. I want you to feel your toes. Feel your heels root down. Lift the arches in the feet. And we're just going to do what I call a mountain pose sun salute. So we'll repeat it 5 times. And this is going to warm you up without overexerting yourself, because we're easing in, right? Hands in front of the heart space, coming back to your intention and your understanding that yoga is about directing and focusing mental activity. As you inhale, breathe in deep, reach the arms up, and as you exhale, come back a little bit, make a little back bend. Then inhale, rise back up. As you exhale, fold forward to Uttanasana, touching the floor or whatever you can touch. You're certainly welcome to use your blocks. As you inhale, come up halfway. Squeeze the shoulder blades on the back. Draw the belly in. As you exhale, fold back down, touch the floor, draw your body in, whatever feels good to you. And then press down through your feet, rise to standing, and bring your hands together at your heart. Number 2, inhale, reach it up. Hands can come together or stay apart. Exhale, take a back bend. Inhale, stand up straight. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up halfway. Breathe fully into the lungs. Feel the side ribs opening. As you exhale, fold back down and touch the earth. Draw your body in, whatever works. Rooting down through the feet now. Rise up to standing. Hands together at the top. Exhale, hands to the heart. 3 more. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway, squeeze the shoulder blades. Get a nice straight spine. Keep those hips back. Belly in. Exhale, fold. Draw your body in. Rooting down through the feet, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. I think that was 3. 2 more. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Rotate those shoulders back. Exhale, fold back down. Pressing down through your feet, rise to standing. Full breath in. Exhale, hands to your heart. 1 more. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, little back bend. Not too far. Just keep your legs strong here. Keep them engaged. Exhale, back up. Or inhale, back up. Exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, come up halfway. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Breathe fully into the ribs. Feel the expansion. Exhale, draw your body back in. Press down through the feet, rise up. And then exhale, Samastitihi. So you're gonna just stand in mountain pose, eyes closed, catch your breath. Notice how your body is waking up gently, mindfully. You're very present. Okay, so we're gonna combine that sun salutation with a knee lunge. So you can follow along with me because I'm gonna go slow. As you inhale, you reach the arms up. As you exhale, you bow forward. As you inhale, you lift. As you exhale, you step back with your left foot. You come into a knee lunge. So you inhale and you rise up, and you exhale and you come forward a little bit. That's it. Inhale, back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, lift your back knee. Exhale, step it forward. Press down through your feet, rise up. And then hands to the heart. So inhale, lift. We're only going to do 2 of these, 1 on each side. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right leg back. Come into a knee lunge. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, maybe come forward just a little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift the back leg. Exhale, fold. Yeah, exhale, fold. Press down through the feet. Rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, we're going to do a couple of standing poses, and we're going to start with crescent lunge. All right, so right foot's going to come forward. Left foot's going to come back on the toes. Okay? We often do this pose in flow classes, right? So the toes on the right foot are straight forward. The knee is going to come over the ankle. We're on the toes of the back foot. And I want you to take your hands at your hips and just move your hips back a little bit. lift the back knee a little bit, and then draw the navel in. And then press down with your right foot and lift your torso up. And here you can finish off the pose and radiate from the inside out. And you know, this doesn't have to be a back bend. Just hang out here. If you want to take it back a little further, you can. It's up to you. And then hands together at the heart and push off the back foot and land on both feet. Inhale a big deep breath in. And as you exhale, take the right foot back. Same thing, hands on hips, knee over ankle, left foot is straight. We're on the toes of the back foot. And then take the hips back. Lift the back knee, draw the navel in, lift the torso up, raise the arms. So now you've done crescent pose on both sides. And then bring the hands together. Step up, place your feet next to each other. And then we're going to do Warrior A. I think I might want to do it facing you so you could see. The right foot is going to be straight forward. The left foot is going to come back, pointing halfway towards the front, right? So I could probably go back a little further. Since I'm not completely on my mat, it feels a little weird. But what you want in this pose, Warrior A, is for the leg to be straight behind the hip. We don't want it over here. We don't want it here. We want it here. Okay. Same thing, hands on the hips, knee over the ankle. Bend forward, taking the hips back. Lift the back leg. Engage now. Draw the navel in, press down through the feet, rise up. Warrior A. Then you can go a little deeper in the front knee if you want to. Do not take the knee over past the ankle. So if you need to move your right foot forward a little bit, go ahead and do that. Then come forward some more. And then, you know, you can do anything here with your hands. You can even put them behind your back and interlace the fingers and open the chest. However you want to do it. So fun. That's what I love about yoga. It's very versatile. Second side, left foot straight forward, right foot is turned in. It's not here, it's here. So you should be able to see your whole leg behind the right hip. Hands together, or hands on the hips. Bend the left knee. Take the hips back. Straighten the back leg. Draw the belly in. Press down through the feet. Rise up. And then again, any expression you want, radiating from the inside out. That's what the poses are for. And we come into specific alignment in the poses so that number one, we can get into them. We can deepen them over time, and we can do it safely. So the more we do them, the stronger and more flexible we get, and then we can do more, and then we can do more, and then we can do more. And I love that. There's always more. All right, I'm going to take another sip of water, and what I want to do is Warrior 2. So I'm gonna modify this one using blocks. So we're gonna take the right foot forward, left foot back. Left foot's gonna be parallel to the back of the mat. You could turn it in a little if you want, but the right foot, you wanna make sure the toes are forward and the heel is straight behind the toes. Ankles in line with the second toe. And then you wanna bend into your knee so that the knee is over the ankle. A lot of times people end up doing this, and you can, but in the actual pose, your torso straight up and down. So I want you to take your hands on your hips, just like we did the other two. Move the hips back, engage the back leg, draw the navel in, and then lift the torso up. So you're going to keep that leg back as you lift this and then lift this up. Arms come out. Your gaze comes over the right hand, and then maybe you can move into the knee a little bit more. And then if you're going to go into Parsvakonasana, you're going to take your hand maybe here on your leg, or on your block. And you could use a high level too, like that. You can even use the block and push your knee, your elbow into your knee and extend out this way. Okay. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, switch sides. Okay. Bending into that left knee. Left foot is straight, remember. Right foot is either parallel to the back of the mat or turned in a little bit. Hands on the hips. Hips back. Engage that right leg so you feel these muscles hugging into the bones. Then draw the navel in and lift straight up. Once you're expressing your pose, you get to go back to your feet, ankles, calves, all the way up and go, how in alignment am I feeling? Do I feel strong? Do I feel flexible? Do I want to come into this next phase of the pose and extend from here? All right, come on up. And then the last standing pose we're going to do is facing your feet straight forward. So they're parallel, but they're far apart. And then I like to use the block on this one. So take your block, maybe lower it. And then we're going to bend the knees here. So when you do that, I want you to take your hips back. This is a pose for your legs, right? But I want you to bend the knees first, take the hips back, then straighten into the legs, then draw the belly in, then lift your heart and squeeze the shoulder blades on the back so that you're looking at a nice long spine here. We always want to work on that spine. Now you could take your hands to the floor. You don't need to use the block. In fact, if you want, you could lower your head to the block. Just take a few breaths here and feel what's going on in your legs. Maybe you need to pump a little bit. Maybe you need to bend and straighten, or bend and straighten. All right. Then we're going to take our hands at our hips, come up halfway, squeeze the shoulder blades on the back, press down through the feet, and bring our legs together. I hope this feels like easing into you. It does to me, but I've been practicing a long time, so I don't know. But I don't think we're overdoing it. I do want to work on a little back bending, starting with Sphinx pose and moving to Cobra. So again, this is a gentle moving into the back. We start on our bellies here, and we bring the elbows under the shoulders, and the forearms are parallel to each other. And I like to kind of spread the fingers on this one. And so here is a little back bend. You're already in a back bend, right? So you're gonna kind of pull the elbows towards you as you lift the heart, and then see if you can like soften the heart a little bit in this pose. And maybe even draw the navel in this pose. Sphinx pose, it's a little bit of a back bend, but it's not an intense back bend. But also, I want to practice a little bit of Cobra, which I think is more intense than this. And it is a back bend, but it's working the back muscles even way more than this one. So we're going to come down, bring your forehead to your mat, and bring your hands right by the shoulders, kind of under the shoulders, and slide the shoulders towards your ears, and then place them on the back a little bit. So a little bit of a rotation and a squeeze. And then lift your head off the floor. So you could be here, and you could, if you want to challenge yourself, take your hands off the mat momentarily. You could place the hands on the mat. You could come up a little higher. That is challenging. And then at some point, you could actually really, lift a lot higher when you're ready for that. But in the meantime, just baby cobras are fine. And then take your right hand out to the side, your right arm, and bring your left hand right here by your shoulder, and then just twist a little bit, like take that left leg over. So we're just opening up the shoulder joint a little bit. And then we're going to do the other side. Feels so good, not terribly hard. I do have a strap here that I often use for things. I don't know that I'll use it today. And I want to see where I'm at. Okay, so now we're gonna come into pigeon pose so we can work the knee, the thigh, thigh and the hip. So a lot of people consider this a hip opener, but kind of does a lot of things. But what we're gonna do is start in down dog. Excuse me. Then we're gonna bring that knee forward and maybe scooch the left leg back a little bit. A lot of people come onto their elbows here, but I want to invite you to come onto your block on your forearms. So pigeon is a working pose. It's not a relaxation pose, really, although some people do want to fall asleep here. So what we're going to do is press down on the outer edge of the right foot and widen it, like take the hips back like we were doing in all those other poses, and then draw the navel in, and then lift the heart a little bit. And you just kind of want the hips to be even. You don't want to be one side or the other. So weirdly, I get a lot of foot cramps, so I have to come out of this pose, but then I'll just go right to the other side. And pigeon is a pose that can be really hard on the knees. So if you're having knee issues, we would take that to your back, and I'll show you how to do that. But second side, and you know, I'm purposefully not staying here long because this is a pose that is challenging and requires patience, and you can really grow into it and stay here longer and longer as long as you keep practicing. But for now, we're just getting we're just gonna ease in. I know I keep repeating that, but that's the whole point, so that you know that it's okay to do that. You never have to go full force and back into anything. All right, so enough of that. What I'm gonna do is pull my back leg forward. Here's where I'm gonna use the strap, I just realized. So, what is the name of this pose? In English, it's called head to knee pose. Head to knee pose. I have a cramp in my right hip, so I'm trying to get rid of that. So I am having some issues with my right hip, and I don't know why I can't remember the name of this pose, but Janu Shirshasana. Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. So the right leg starts straight. I'll move the block so you can see. The left knee is bent and the foot comes in. So I'm feeling a little pressure here. So I want to be careful here. Also, it wouldn't hurt to just do that. Like now that feels better, to put my knee on top of a block. Then I'm going to lift my torso up, twist it towards the extended leg, and I'm going to grab my strap, whoops, and place it around the foot. So I'm going to grab the strap with my left hand, take my right hand on the right side of my body, and use my right hand as leverage to press down and twist to the right. And then I will just gradually start to lean forward. And I don't want to go a long way because I'm tight. I'm easing back in. So I'm going to engage this leg here. I'm going to press through the ball of the foot. So this is very active right here. And then I'm just going to breathe and enjoy this forward fold. And I'm not hurting my knee. If my knee was down on the ground, it might be hurting, and I don't want to do that. But also, I don't want to take too much time of your time. You can stay there as long as you want. Again, it's kind of like pigeon pose where a little bit at first and then more and then more. And you can enjoy that pose for as long as you want and play with it. So left leg, right knee bends, strap goes around the foot. This knee does not hurt me, the right knee. My right hip hurts, but my knee doesn't hurt. All right, so again, I'm going to grab the strap with my right hand, use my left hand to lift my spine up nice and tall, rooting down through the sit bones, engaging that left leg, and then just coming forward as I'm able to. So for me right now, it's just a little bit. I want to enjoy this. So I'm going to breathe into the back body. I think I'm doing pretty good on time here. I started less than an hour ago, but we are winding down. All right, so that's enough of that. So I told you I would give you an alternative to pigeon pose, and I'm going to. So what that looks like is taking this out of my hair, first of all, coming onto my back like this. And then we're going to do what we call number 4, which is crossing the right ankle over the left knee. And this is also known as Eye of the Needle or Sukhi Randrasana. And then you can, if you want to, use a strap for this. So I often do. So first of all, we're going to engage this foot here. See this foot? We're going to spread the toes, and I'm going to push the ankle into the knee, and I'm going to push the knee into the ankle. And then what happens? My low back raises, and my tailbone moves towards the floor. So I have a nice arch in the back, and that's a good thing. I'm going to take the strap around this left leg and pull it towards me. I'm going to keep my hips down and my shoulders on the floor. So the work is in the hips here. The work is in the hips. So if you keep pressing the hip down and pulling the thigh towards you, you're going to feel some resistance in that hip joints, in the outer hip probably. And this is safer for the knee, for anyone who likes to do pigeon but can't. This is going to be, it's going to give you a very similar effect. You can straighten your leg if you want. Again, press the hips down so you get that low arch in your back. And then you just basically switch sides. And this time, the strap's going to go around the right thigh. And engage this foot here, press through the ball of the foot. Try not to sickle the foot, I guess is kind of the rule of thumb there. And then again, press the hips down, shoulders back, and just gently bring the strap and that right thigh towards you, and you'll start feeling it right here. Yum, yum, yum. I have a whole class I do on hips. I haven't recorded it yet, but I'm going to. And so we'll work on the hips sometime soon. And I hope you'll join me for that. I'm also going to be creating a lot of workshop videos, so we'll workshop one pose at a time, and those will be short and sweet. Okay, that's it for that. Now, a lot of times I'm sure you've heard of happy baby pose. We're just going to do half happy baby. I really like this for easing back in. So you're just going to lift that one leg, grab hold of it. The other leg stays on the floor like this, and then you'll start to move that knee. That if you're starting on the right, you move the knee over to the right, and the bottom of your foot faces the ceiling, and you just gently pull down with your hand. You might even feel this on the upper outer hip, the muscle area, and you might feel some pressure there. It's what I call acupressure, and it hurts so good, basically. But here, instead of coming into full happy baby, which is kind of challenging to keep your low back arched in that one. So then we'll reduce or release the right foot, grab the left one. This side is feeling a little better for me. But yeah, it's a little bit easier than doing full happy baby pose. So just a few breaths in each of these poses. And then we'll release that. And what's really nice at the end of a yoga class is to get a twist in. And I will also do a video on twists. So with your left leg extended out onto your mat, grab your right knee, give it a little hug. Take your left hand on the outside of your right knee and start to shift to the left. And you're going to take your right arm out to the side. So the right shoulder is connected to the floor and you can start to twist. But you want to keep the right shoulder on the floor. Now, a lot of times I get back cramps when I do this, so I back off. If you start to get a back cramp, back off and then ease back in. And then we'll come back to the center and we'll switch sides. Again, you can stay here as long as you want in these twists or in any of these poses. You can pause the video and stay in a pose as long as you want and breathe as long as you want. For the sake of time, I'm just kind of moving through these poses a little quicker than maybe I normally would. So now we're just twisting to the other side. It's always good to do both sides, right? And then we're going to come back to the center and release that leg onto the floor. So Shavasana is an actual pose. Whoops, I want to even myself on my mat. I like to keep my legs about, 10 inches apart, something like that. I don't measure, but I just want to be comfortable in Shavasana. And then the hands usually face upwards. Sometimes people will like to do this. That's fine. Whatever's comfortable for you. Sometimes I take a blanket and I lay it on myself, or I might have other props that I use for Shavasana. Then you just want to kind of lift the upper back off the floor, press the head into the mat, and then roll the shoulders back a little bit more and shimmy until you find that comfy spot where you can really let go. And I would like for you not to skip this part because this is the sweet part. This is where you get to acknowledge that you've moved your body, you've attended to your mind and your body and your health and well-being. And you get the reward of rest and restoration is what brings your energy back for the rest of the day. So I am going to guide you through this Shavasana, which is corpse pose. And while you're relaxing and noticing your breath, I'm going to read a little something to you. So stay relaxed right now. See if there's anything else you can let go. Maybe the jaw, relax your jaw a little bit, relax your tongue, relax your toes even more. And I'm reading from To Bless the Space Between Us by John O'Donohue, which is a book of blessings. And this blessing is for presence. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. Receive encouragement when new frontiers beckon. Respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. Let the flame of anger free you of all falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame. May anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. Take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. Be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Notice your state of relaxation. Your mind is working, yes. The thoughts are going to come, and you get to kind of watch them and decide what you will give attention to and where you'll let go. As you lay there in your presence, bring awareness to your fingers and your toes and begin moving them gently, easing back into a place of movement, but very gentle and mindful movement where you can slowly begin to make your way back to your seat. Maybe it's bending one knee and then the other and rolling to one side, or maybe it's just rolling up to sit. And when you come to your seated position, I would like to invite you to bring your hands together in front of your heart and close your eyes, acknowledging the time that you've taken for yourself, and celebrate in the presence that you've brought to this class. Again, my hope was to ease you back into movement and to help you find peace and calm in a crazy and hectic world. When you do this regularly, you feel grounded, less reactive, more responsive, and better able to handle anything that comes your way. With deep gratitude, I end this practice, and thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Okay, that was just over an hour and 3 minutes. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.